Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Wondering if this thing even works. It's been a while, right? Hey, salutations to the kindred spirits. Look at this. We're back on YouTube Live. And hey, happy to see some kindred right away in the chat. I saw one of you just a few days ago. Robert Valen, what's happening, man? I hope you had a nice long journey back from Houston all the way to Beaumont. Robert and I were both in Houston, Texas over the Labor Day weekend with the Texas Association of Magicians. We had a good time. I'll talk about it today. Hello to Daniel. Good afternoon or good evening. For some people, it's late. For some people, it's morning. Always happy to see Tim in the house. Drago making the live. What's happening? And John and Andy. Dude, we're just getting started, Mike. But hey, you know, if you got to go, you got to go. Look who's here, Alex and Matthew. Yeah, it's been a while. We had a crazy August. I'll talk about some of my August as the stream goes on, but you know what we're going to do is let it filter down to the hardcore. Who else is here? Fast Eddie. Dude, speaking of things we'll be talking about, Eddie, good to see you always. Jay Harris is in the house, and hey, we could just say hi to everyone. You want to just do that? Say hi to each other for about 30 minutes, and then I'll go get some dinner. Let's not do that. We're going to unbox things. I actually got some things in the Ovra last week, and I didn't unbox the things I got in because of the Texas convention. I didn't want to get my brain too sidetracked with the tasks at hand. While we await the other kindred who might be a couple minutes late getting here, let's start with unboxing a box. So I'm actually unboxing a box, and what you're looking at here is the Omni box. This is a Hansen Chin. Can we see this on the... Let me see Hansen's logo. Everyone knows who Hansen Chin is, right? We don't have to see Hansen stuff. But what this is for protecting your decks. And if you're like me, and I imagine many of you are, your deck collections, your playing card collections are growing, and you're looking for ways to house them in a respectable yet visible format. Well, look what Hansen has provided, these clear boxes. And I've had these before. I'm gonna put some cards in here. And what I've had before is these, because I couldn't get the bricks. So this is the 6-pack holder. And you can see what this does is allows you to see what you got, and if you want to have access to the honeybees, well, there they are, So, but yeah, I couldn't get the dozens, and my cards have continued to pile up. I have tried some other playing card solutions. There's one of them on the shelf. Not real happy with this. I'm just going to say it, the TCC acrylic deck holder. These things I like a lot. So, hey, let's look at some decks while we pack them away. I don't think I'll put these in there. The Nox, I've been using these, so probably we'll get to these. Maybe I'll put those in there. Green Orbits, these are the bicycle mosaics. Pop cards. Who did? Man, this gentleman's name escapes me. Maybe one day we'll go look through all my archaic decks. A Legacy of Legerdemain, the Legacy of Legerdemain pack. Capital playing cards. Snackers. Raspberry flavor. These cards actually smell like the flavor when you open the pack. I really like these, the Inspire bicycles. So yeah, there we go. Here's what we've done. We've unboxed the box. What does this go this way? This goes this way. I feel this thing needs one more deck in it, but I also feel like I don't want to spend 10 minutes on the Hansen Chin box. Oh, that's not good. Really needs another box in there. Also, this needs me to be a little more experienced with the products I bought. But this is what it looks like if you were to open one of these and put it together in a couple minutes live on the internet. That's what it would look like. So I do have these. I should talk about this because no one else will if I don't. I figured this out. If I don't market my own things, no one else will. I have them. I have these in my shop at conjure.com. It's also a good resource here to learn things. So it's not like I'm just selling stuff. You can go to the classroom and just click that link. And if my web server is being what it should, you can just go learn about magic tricks. You don't have to buy stuff. You can just go learn things. But I do sell things. I sell accessories, and this is one of the things I've added to the store. And here's the accessory page. Where is it? What are these? Like, I think they're $5. Is it on here? It's on there. It's on there. And that's your commercial for the day. Your sponsor is me. So brought to you by our sponsor, Conjure.com. I'll be opening some other things from the shop today. I've added a couple of new things to the inventory, and I will be adding a lot more as this month goes on. And as I said earlier, I have some interesting things to talk about, and we'll talk about them further. But let me get to the numero uno topic. We were in Houston, Texas. This is the badge. This is badge number 6 for me this year. 6 magic conventions I've attended. I've enjoyed every single one of them for different reasons, and this weekend was no different as we visited Houston, Texas, TAOM 2023. I arrived a little late. Sadly, my journey, which should have been about 4 or 5 hours, took closer to 9. Right out of New Orleans, I hit the gridlock on Labor Day weekend traffic. So I arrived a little late, and the first event I got to see was Chad Long, which, you know, if you haven't seen Chad, well, you're missing out. Seeing Chad Long is not only educational, but it's also like a comedy show. You know, this man is a master of comedy, and his ideas are brilliant. I was happy to see some things I haven't seen Chad do before, and man, his origami prediction was a highlight for me for the weekend, and highly likely that gets added to my professional repertoire, and those are words that don't come lightly. Yeah, Chad Long. We'll see Chad again later. That was a 10 o'clock lecture after Chad, and this gives you some idea of the schedule. Morning to night, Chip Romero. Finally, Chip is on land off the cruise ships for 30 years or however long he was at sea, and now he's spending his time collecting magic and talking about it at magic conventions. He is the authority on Doug Henning, but at this event, he spoke of the Great Leon and his it was a haunted house. Is that Great Leon's haunted house? It was a great chat covering the history of the plot, the prop, and things that can be done with it. And then as a bonus, constructive criticism, Mr. Romero. Chad is great, but he talks too fast. Doubly so when you catch him in the hallway. But yeah, Chad broke into his egg bag and a dissertation on the egg bag, and I think this man knows this prop as good as any man alive. If you ever want to learn about the egg bag, go talk to Chip Romero. A pleasure seeing this man, and as I caught up with him over the weekend, we lived in the same city, Lake Charles, flashbacking to 1990s, you know, and he and I reminiscing about whoever thought that these conventions we used to attend we would be presenting at. And yeah. So there was Chip's presentation late night. He ended about 12:30 in the morning. And well, there I am, my lecture. This is me on the stage presenting my skit. This was actually, that would have been Saturday afternoon. Let me recap Saturday morning. Saturday morning was the close-up competition. I drugged my butt out of bed to go watch the rising stars of close-up magic. There were some great junior competitors and some fun adult competitors. Zero regrets at this 8:30 a.m. event. And then as the day went on, it was more family-oriented. They had like a Willard the Wizard lunch. They had a family show. Sadly, and this was a sadness with all due respect to TJ Johnson, who was great. CJ, I'm going to get the names wrong. Mario didn't make it, so I didn't go to the family show. I prepped for my lecture as opposed to going to watching family entertainment. I just prepared for that. So glossing over my afternoon activities, which were in my hotel room preparing to present to my peers. That was fun. We did that. And moving on to the day. Oh, here we are. We got to see Chris Carter's lecture. What a great mentalist Chris Carter is. And from my understanding, one of the most successful college circuit performers maybe ever. True joy to watch him present his art. And then in the evening show, it was Chris Carter with Steve Valentine, who for me was the highlight of the convention. Steve Valentine, my understanding is he doesn't get out to a lot of conventions. He's a busy actor, and these days actors aren't so busy with the SAG situation. So Steve was here, and wow, what a treat that was. This show was emceed by Mike Finney. Mike Finney, comedy magician. Mike would appear on the Gala show the next night. We'll talk about him in a minute. Day two opened with we started with the stage contest. I got to that a little late, had a little meeting, did a thing, and we'll talk more about the things as time goes on. But the first event for me this day would be the professional close-up show, where I was joined by Chad Long. There he is again. Always nice when I got to follow Chad Long. Eric Tate was in another room. So I got Chad Long and a FISM award-winning act, and then me coming up. Also on this bill, Magical Katrina. What a charming pixie she is. And then Brent Braun. Brent, I got no pictures of Brent Braun this weekend. I don't know how that happened, but we all crushed this event. I heard the laughter from all the rooms. Who we got here? There's Eric Tate and there's Katrina. And instead of Brent Braun, I put a picture of Andy Glass. Andy Glass. Maybe my favorite person from this convention. Didn't get to spend nearly enough time with him. Spent a little time with him. And I'll tell you what I did. First thing when I got the vibe was I went to Brent's booth and I got these things. These are Andy's notes. And I use the term notes loosely. These are like books. He calls them magazine tricks, like tricks you submit to magazines. That's much more than that, and accentuated by these QR codes. I probably shouldn't flash the QR codes. You'll go clicking them and looking at the material. And yeah, Tim mentions Tumbleweed. If you've seen Tumbleweed, I posted the clip of Tumbleweed on my shorts. You can go watch Andy do a trick. And he's the creator of that, along with Brent Braun, and they're all doing great things at JMB Magic. I've left the link to his stuff in the description. You guys can go shop at my competitors and spend your monies there. Look at this. Gary just paid for those notes. Thanks, Gary. By the way, folks, it is National Book Day, if I'm not mistaken. Go read a book. If you're not reading books, we're not learning magic correctly. Jamie, I'm talking about the stuff, man. Jamie's here. He joined us last week promoting the convention. Andy Glass. Highlight for me. Yeah, Jamie was busting his hiney the whole time, running the audio, the lectures, the convention chairman, Jamie Salinas. If you didn't watch Jamie last, it was about 2 weeks ago he was here. And yeah, but Andy Glass, highlight for me, and Brent Braun in general. The dealer's room was great. I did post a couple videos from there. I got one from Copeland Coin. That's on my Instagram reels. You might take a look at that. And yeah, where are we? So yeah, this was the close-up show. And yeah, that's Andy Glass, but not Brent Braun. We're coming down the home stretch here. The evening events was the Gala show. And this show was Mike Finney and Rob Lake. Mike, you know, as I look at these pictures, I got to tell myself this. I need to do two things. If I'm going to take pictures to memorize events, I need to take my good cameras. And then, all right, finally you showed up to say the good words. Thank you, Jamie. And also, thanks for paying me. I appreciate that as well. Without that, maybe my wife doesn't let me do these as much. Where was I? Mike Finney and Rob Lake. We also had some award ceremonies. Man, I'm telling you, folks, if you haven't considered like being a magic competitor, especially like some of the youths, a couple of the kids walked away with $650 for their competition efforts. Always a great idea to put your sights on a competition, and Texas has some of the best ones. In fact, they're having the best one next year. There'll be a combined event in Dallas, Texas. This is going to be the FISM Championship competition funnel. So if you want to go to FISM through North America, you got to be in Dallas next year. And this has been your warning. Anyway, yeah, we had some competition awards before this big show. And before I go back to that, let me say, hey, Eddie, and thank you, sir. Thank you. Hope to see you on the Discord later tonight, Eddie. And as I say these words, this is an open invitation to all channel members. certainly every Monday, I try to be there on the Discord, and semi-regularly, including this evening at 7 p.m., I will be having a little live video voice chat with channel members. I did post a link to the Discord in the community tab, so if you need that link, go look there. Phoenix, you will get there, and you will love it. Magic conventions are the bomb. It really is like the best way to learn. Not only do you get to see professionals like Mike Finney and Rob Lake showcase their world-class talents, and you get to learn from them as well. And let me segue to the next event here, the Steve Valentine lecture, which was Saturday night. He started at about 10 o'clock. For me, this was the most educational experience. I did pick up something from just about, I think, every lecture I watched, but man, Steve had just it was a fireworks display of all kinds of magic and stuff off the beaten path. Like, it wasn't a lecture of all card tricks like mine. It was, all kinds of crazy stuff. The black art section blew my mind. I'm definitely going to be using some of those ideas. So I think that's the last picture I have, because you know what I didn't do? I didn't stick around for Brent and Andy Monday, because then I knew I'd be in the same boat that got me there late that night, and I couldn't get home at 10 p.m. So I left Houston at about 6 a.m. that morning and was home to kiss my wife by noon. And I hope Brent and Andy delivered and had a great time at their event. I'm sure they did. They're both brilliant. So that's my little recap of the TAOM. And let me thank that association for inviting me and hosting and having such a great event. This convention never fails to impress. I've been to many of them, and if it's on your radar, just go. Yeah, Robert sums it up. It was my first convention, and it was great. Friendliest event I've ever been to. Magic conventions for the most part are that. Some more than others. I think in the South, you're more likely to get some hospitality. Not that Yankees are assholes or anything. I'm from the North. The Discord link is in the members community. So if you're in my YouTube membership, you can go to the community tab. I made a members only post. You'll find the link there. And if you really need it and don't have that access, email me and I will find it for you. Good. And I'm not surprised it was well attended, because the smart people did stick around. But maybe they had flights home later and weren't having to drive Labor Day traffic. All right. So we have talked about that. Now I got a few things on my list to open up. I had got these things like I mentioned last week, and I didn't open them. I guess I could talk about what I got at the convention first of all. You want to see what Doug Conn gets at the Magic Convention besides Andy Glass's jam? We got you know what I spent some time with? I spent some time talking to Wolfgang Wallet over at the Trick Supply Company. I was super excited to hear that he has the Steve Fearson line now. This is one of Steve Fearson's products, the Sugar Bunny. Man, what a great organic effect this is. You take a sugar packet, you dump it into your hand, hocus pocus, chicken bones chocus, and a little sugar figurine, a bunny appears. I've seen this presented a few ways. This is just a minor organic miracle, but more importantly than the trick itself, I want to just direct your attention. Let me see if I can. Boom, we can, and we do share tricksupply.com. This site has like everything. Wolfgang has accumulated one of the largest retail offerings on the planet, and also some of the esoteric things that you might not, be able to find at some of the other, standard shops. So put your eyes on tricksupply.com, and certainly if you're looking for the Steve Fearson material, his thread line, and so on. Matthew Mosley making sure he's up for the jam tonight. Good to see you, Matthew, and thanks for your constant support. You know what I did? I visited the SEO Magic booth, SEO Magic, and I said, "Hey, SEO, I do social media magic, because I do social media magic." And this trick, you know what? I would not recommend this trick for anyone in the real world. But man, if you're a social media magician, this trick. You'll see it soon. And when I do it on social media, look for it on the shorts. You'll be like, wow, how'd he do that? And then you'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember. He told me. So I got one of those, and I couldn't pass up these. This is the Tan Anasaka style purse, but with a clasp. So not having nearly enough coin purses in my life, it felt like I needed to get some more. So I made sure the collection was complete by getting the Tan Anasaka clasp style purse. And I didn't buy it just because I'm an addict. This purse actually has true value. And in particular, let me get something a little more. There we go. I use the kick move. And for a move, for the kick move is this. I'm going to kick the coin. So I'm going to pretend to pick it up. I'm going to kick it. What I'm going to do is kick it under an object. And in this case, I'm going to kick it under the purse as I pretend to pick up the coin. So this is the kick move. And now we've all learned something today. But you might do this under a napkin at the dinner table, or if you're David Roth, under a sleeve or a portable hole. I use it as a switch also. So I'll palm a coin secretly, and as I pretend to pick this one up, it gets kicked under. Boom. And then I bring the palmed coin into view, executing a switch. So that's why I wanted this one with the clasp. Adds a little bit of weight. It's a little bit bigger, and you can get this overpriced $25 purse at SEO Magic. So I got one of those as well. You know what I spent a lot of money on this week, limiting my budget, was some new Patrick Przecki close-up pads. I got a new forest green for my piled DJ stand, and also a nice big one for my desk. I bought the nice big one for the desk for preparation of the close-up, not close-up. Let's call it. Let's not say it yet. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not just going to jinx it. But along with this gear, we have new cameras on the way, brand new cameras, new lights. We're going to upgrade the microphone. I'm going to upgrade everything that you have grown accustomed to seeing me do over the last year or two. This whole channel is about to get a super upgrade. And yeah, by the way, yay for Pat's mats. You know them, you love them, you can't live without them. I'm rocking the Murphy's pad here, which is not horrible, but it's not a plush Pat's mat. This is one that's been in the back for a while. When I need contrast, I bring this thing out. This is the preferred surface. Oh man, David just bought my pad. Thank you so much. Thank you. Holy mackerel. Honey, we can have pizza for dinner. Jason, Jason. Everyone's supporting the addiction. Thank you so much to the kindred spirits today. All right, continuing on, and now having support to buy things like the Dicey dots to review, and that's what's next on the list of things that came into my Ovra that I wanted to talk about. This trick. So here's the problem with Dicey dots. They printed the box upside down. So first thing you want to do is turn it this way so that you can read it correctly. Thank you, Jason. Look, man, what you follow the dreams and they happen. Isn't that right, Samuel Osborne? You do that every day. All right, let's get this back to the more visible. I love my burgundy, but the green looks gooder. You know what I mean? This is not the true unboxing because, truth be told, I already unboxed the box. And as I talk about this product, let me talk about the release that was not ideal. And this was a couple months ago. This is from the Daryl line, and Daryl is an icon of magic and just one of my heroes. And he had a product line of magic that included this effect. Dicey dots by Daryl. So when you see the Daryl logo, that's what I'm talking about. And Murphy's acquired the rights to this stuff after Daryl passed away. And my understanding is that when they released this trick, the props that it came with were less than ideal. And I can't really talk about that because I haven't seen the other props, but I can tell you that this dice looks just like a regular dice should, and this spot remover, and that's what this is. It's a spot remover for the multiverse die universe, and I'll get to that in just a second. Here's what the Dicey dot trick is. You take the die and you give it to a spectator to hold. So we'll use the purse in lieu of a spectator being here. The quiver purse providing what is essentially a third hand. And then when you want to use the spot remover, here, I'll just activate it with a twist. Oh, hello, there it is. And as I do this, I can note it's only the second time I've ever done this trick, as I did just open this prop. And there is the die inside what would be the spectator's hand. But look at this. No spots. No spots. And you can imagine the strength of this effect in a spectator's hand versus, in a quiver purse, which is still fine. So in a sense, what we have here is a dice switch and the classic paddle move. And the choreography that Daryl has with this, you don't get the purse, you just get the die, is ideal. And it's a simple switch, right? It's this. It's this, You know what? Let's not say that. You can figure it out, right? So, yay or nay is the question. And originally, when Murphy's re-released this trick, I would have said hypothetically nay. But after thought and after really thinking about this trick is what made me think deeper about the Dicey dots. So this is Radical Dice, and this is the last dice trick that I've added to my repertoire. I love it. It's great. I think it's the best paddle trick maybe in existence. Maybe the color changing knives. But this trick is great. But here's the thing. If you want to hand it out, you have to switch the dice. And then the trick you follow it up with is not as strong as the Radical Dice routine. So dig this. When you do Radical Dice, if you're me, switch in the Dicey dot and put that in your spectator's hand. And now the routine ends with the spot remover, the blank dice, and everything's examinable. And the finish is in the spectator's hand, which is increasing the routine. So I am enthusiastic about Dicey dots. Yay is the answer. I'm going to add this to conjure.com. I'll have some in my site next week. In the interim, if you want to go buy one today, well, you know what you do? You go over there to where was I? We'll suggest you go to the JMB. I bet they have it. Let's see. JMB. This is Brent Braun's site, and I know this is where Andy's hanging out. Dicey dots by Daryl. You can go get this today at Brent Braun's place for $15. Buy some more stuff while you're over there, though. He's got good things going on, and he needs the support. So that's the review of Dicey dots. We like it. If you need Radical Dice, though, hey, conjure.com. All right, I had a couple more things I wanted to unbox. How are we doing? 30 minutes? I don't know. I like to wrap it up at 30 minutes, but I'm going to take about 5 minutes and get through a couple items because I want the kindred to be aware of these things. I actually meant to take this one with me to the convention. I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it again in the hopes to share the good information with the kindred spirits unaware of it. This is Genii magazine. Genii magazine, produced by Richard Kaufman. Originally started by the Magic Castle. It's the monthly zine. Keep abreast of all the latest. Look, the Gateway Close-Up Convention. Hey, that's going to be a good one. Speaking of magic conventions, if this one isn't on your radar for less than $200 in April, go. And in addition to the advertisements, the news, you get tricks, you get magic reviews, and a feature story in every month. And this is, I guess, Steranko stuff, which, wow, what a treat it's going to be to go look at all this material. Holy cow, it's like the mother lode. Jim Steranko, Steranko, comic book artist, magic creator, stopped creating. I think Marlowe pissed him off or something. I don't know, it was all the rumors. But here's the deal. Highly recommended, and doubly so if you subscribe to this magazine. And it's not like I'm affiliated. I don't even think Richard Kaufman likes me, the guy who produces this. But I like what he does, and I'm promoting it here. And if you subscribe to it, what you get is access to all the genies in digital form, all the magic magazines. Here's a great resource, Stan Allen's Magic Magazine. And yeah, let me put it up close for you so you know what you're looking for. Genii, the Conjurer's Magazine. What is it, $50 a year? And then again, the archive, the digital archive. Be aware of the Dicey dot, that it will require, ideally, a simple sleight of hand switch. This is not a self-working trick. All right, a couple things that people have asked me about. One of them is this product. Another misprint. Doug, where can I find a good reel? I don't know if I can answer that question for you, but I ordered this reel from my distributor, and it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. So there's a couple of good tricks that you can do with them. You saw me maybe do the handkerchief through the microphone stand. This is along those lines, but a little bit different. Tying a knot in the handkerchief. But when is a knot not a knot? When it's not. What? So this is the brass reel. It's in essence a dollar snatcher. And I had people asking me where they can find a good one. And I'd say this one, the one that I found, is pretty good. And as far as reels go, you can spend like $100 on a good one. The one I found retails for about $20, and it is the Mr. Magic reel. Now, if you don't, yeah, there is some noise. Oh, I meant to say that. And this is what people have told me. So when you get these things, here's what you do. And this is the kind of working advice from a con man. This is the packaged reel. This is the one that I use as a professional. Okay. This thing has a couple rounds of Band-Aid and some duct tape acting as a muffle to the noise that it makes. You can also mechanic the reel. You can also open the reel on the inside, adjust the tension, and add some oil to the reel, which will soften the sound. But if you're a worker looking to soften the sound of your reel, wrap it up in some bandages. This will also prevent flashing. As opposed to having a shiny brass reel palmed in your hand, we're now palming Band-Aids. So there's some advice on brass reels. Is it the perfect solution? No. Is it a good one? I'd say it's a fair one for, $20. Better than the plastic dollar snatchers you might have got at a popular lecture. My search for the reel cost me hundreds of dollars. Ultimately, I settled on a cheap one, and I learned how to adjust the tension of the reel. That's what I was trying to say earlier by opening that thing up and dinking with it. All right, the last product we're looking that I added to Conjure.com this week is a chop cup. This is a pocket chop cup. I've been searching for one to mimic the routine that you might have seen me do on... I've talked about this before. Oh, wait a minute. Here's the problem with the red ball is a little too dark, so let's use the white ball instead. So this is the routine I've talked about before, and what you do is pretend to put the ball away. I'm not going to do the whole routine, but what eventually happens is I produce not only an extra ball, but I produce an extra cup from the chop cup, and then I produce large loads following the extra. And this is also a chop cup. So I could like put this ball under this cup and make it travel. I'm just making this up as I go here, but make it travel under this cup. So what I've been looking for is this. And this is hard to find because the people that made this don't make this anymore. This is a Morrissey aluminum chop cup. It's a thing of beauty. Look for it on eBay. Look at, and let me point out this too. This one has been used by me quite a bit, but you want to look at the quality of this as I introduce the next cup. All right. Morrissey aluminum chop cup. They made these in copper as well. I really need to get a copper one. The big leather chop cup, that's the TCC chop cup. I just sold my last one yesterday, so I'm out of stock on those today, but soon we will have all the stock, and including these. This is the Ickle Pickle chop cup. Drago's got a chop cup on the way. It's such a great prop, man. You'll be so happy to have it. Maybe I could, just for contrast, keep this one out. So this is a good size, actually. I thought this was going to be a little big, but this actually, if you have a TCC cup and are interested in doing this routine, look, it fits right in there. So if you don't know, you know, I have the cup hidden inside the whole way, and it allows me to do the chop cup stuff and then introduce the cup later on. If you really want to learn this routine, just YouTube Doug Conn chop cup. You'll get the whole sequence and how to do it. But I had to find these for people who wanted to do the routine like I'm doing. Now I found them. This is your option. I think you'll see maybe a little difference in the manufacturing, and not that the Ickle Pickle is poor. It's just a little unfinished on some of the aspects, like the rounded edge on the Morrissey is very nice. The finish on the Morrissey seems to be a little more refined, and some of the production marks are visible on these Ickle Pickle cups. They're good. They're not great. They're good. You know what's not good though? These. These are, in my opinion, they're way too small, at least compared to the balls that I'm used to using. Now, this is going to be dependent for each performer, but I think the little chop cup balls that they include with this set probably aren't going to serve anyone very well. So I would encourage people interested in an Ickle Pickle cup to also get some extra chop cup balls. So yeah, that's the Ickle Pickle pocket chop cup. I love a pocket chop cup, even if you're not doing the double chop cup, because the pocket allows you to have a nice load finish without having to stuff your pockets with big things. Like, you know what a good load for this is? A battery. So you say, you know how that works? It runs by batteries. And then there's a big, like a D-sized battery inside. So, and the idea is that you can do it a load like that. It takes up a little space in your pocket, fills the whole dang cup, and you don't have an orange in your pocket, but you still get to do the chop cup. This is the unit. It comes with the bag. It comes with the cup and the two balls and a little instruction sheet as well. And yeah, you know, I'm offering them at conjure.com. If I didn't think it was good, it wouldn't be offered there, you know. So I think we're selling those for $45. I marked $10 off the price because of just a little bit of the aluminum has a little scuff on it, but it's a good working cup, I think. Yes, Jesse, those puff balls are meant to be vanished and never seen again. The ones that I use, I've got everything packed away from my trip, but I'll point these out. These are the Leo Smesters, S-M-E-S-T-E-R-S, Leo Smesters baseballs. I use his chop cup balls, and I use his balls with the cups and balls as well. You know what? I think he will enjoy that prop, Gary, and you got it. Will do, brother. And thank you for your support as well. Wow. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about today? I think I got through it all, and we've been here 40 minutes. It seems like that's been enough. I'll leave it up to you. If you have something you'd like to talk about, this would be a time to ask a question. I'm going to hydrate a little bit. It's good practice from what I understand. As I do this, let me reiterate about the interesting things in my future. One of the things I did over the month of August was put together a business plan to take some time and write down the intent of this, whatever this is, Doug Conn on the internet. What am I doing here? I know what I'm doing, but I never wrote it down. I think not writing it down was a mistake because there's a lot of things that I haven't got finished that I've intended to. And I'm talking about things like custom playing cards. I'm talking about an online course for sleight of hand magic. I'm talking about things like, increasing the production values, getting better cameras and things for staying relevant, right? Like my competition is ahead of the curve. I have the same camera I started with 3 years ago. So we're upgrading everything, and that's going to be happening throughout the month and throughout October. And by the end of this year, you should be going, wow, look at what Doug's done the last few months. Interesting. All right, John, you can go back to bed now. It's over. But thanks for that. Do I have anything more in my linking ring routine other than what's on Real Magic? So not really. If I was to say anything, I do use the core of that routine in a longer linking ring routine. I actually spent some time with Matthew Mosley on these concepts. So just using like that false explanation, but within the course of a 7-ring routine is what I do. So if I'm looking to play the routine longer, I will do that. Maybe one day I'll talk about that. You know what it is essentially is the linking ring routine from this book, believe it or not, Bill Tarr's 101 Easy to Do Classic Magic Tricks. If you have this book, there's a linking ring routine in it that's quite serviceable. And what I do is add the meat of my routine to what Bill Tarr teaches in this book. Thank you, Bill Tarr. Drago, I thank you for that thought. And I do intend to provide something that, I think will service any student interested in the art. I have a lot of knowledge in my brain. Yeah, right. Thank you, Ed. You'll be hearing a lot about it over the next few months. Thank you, Randall. It was a weird August, but we got through some rough spots. There were some great things that happened. There were some challenges, and now we're all back on track. Thank you, Gary. And thank you for your email earlier as well. All right. All right, guys, let's call this a wrap on this session. I will be back live next Wednesday. And man, I got a list of videos that I want to create for y'all. Time for me to get back in the camera and start putting some stuff on this platform for public consumption. Look for that as well. That's going to be a wrap for now, and I appreciate every one of you hanging out with me for the last 45 minutes. I'll see some of you on the Discord later, but hey, it's going to be a ciao for now. Au revoir.